Are you tired of waking up each day, only to be met by the same cruel reality? No money, no progress, no peace? The alarm clock rings, and instead of hope, a familiar dread washes over you, a heavy reminder that yesterday's struggles have followed you into today. Does it hurt to feel like your efforts never pay off, like you're trapped in a loop that never changes no matter how hard you try? You pour your energy into work, into plans, into dreams, yet the results remain stubbornly out of reach, as if the universe itself is indifferent to your sweat and tears. Does the silence in your bank account scream louder than your dreams? Every glance at your balance, or lack thereof, feels like a mocking echo, drowning out the aspirations you once held so vividly in your mind. Have you reached a point where not having enough is affecting not just your lifestyle, but your self-worth? The inability to afford small joys, like a spontaneous meal out or a gift for someone you love, chips away at your confidence, leaving you questioning your value in a world that equates wealth with success. Do you lie awake at night, worrying if you'll be able to cover your basic needs next week, let alone ever experience true abundance? The darkness amplifies every anxious thought, rent, groceries, that unexpected bill looming on the horizon, while the idea of financial freedom feels like a distant star, visible but impossibly far. Does it seem like there's an invisible wall between you and the life you've always envisioned? A life where money flows easily, where opportunities arrive naturally, and where security is a constant, not a wish. You can picture it so clearly, waking up without the weight of scarcity, making choices based on desire rather than necessity, knowing that your family's future is safe. Yet, every step toward that vision feels like wading through quicksand, as if some unseen force keeps pulling you back to the same starting line. Perhaps you've watched others thrive, friends, colleagues, even strangers online, and wondered why their paths seem paved with gold while yours is littered with obstacles. If any of this resonates, and let's be honest, for most people it does, then what if we told you that this isn't your fault? What if the truth is this: you've been kept in the dark? Not by choice, not by chance, but because the knowledge that could liberate you has been buried, obscured, and made to seem like superstition or fantasy. Imagine for a moment that the tools to break free from this cycle exist, not in motivational quotes or endless hustle, but in insights and strategies deliberately tucked away from the mainstream. History is full of examples, systems designed to keep certain truths quiet, wealth concentrated in the hands of those who already know the game, and practical wisdom dismissed as myth by those who benefit from your ignorance. What if the difference between where you are and where you want to be isn't just effort, but awareness, an awareness that's been hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to uncover it? But here's what they never told you: there is a key. A specific action, at a specific time, aligned with something far more ancient and precise than most people can even imagine. Welcome to Zen Companion, where ancient wisdom meets modern clarity, and where those who feel stuck, blocked, or forgotten finally find the guidance they've been searching for. Thank you for being here, truly. Your presence matters, your energy is felt, and your journey is honored. If this message touched your heart or awakened something within, let that feeling flow forward. Like this video to anchor that energy. Subscribe to the channel to stay close to teachings that uplift and transform. And if someone special comes to mind, someone who could use this light, this clarity, share this with them. Sometimes, one message delivered at the right moment can change everything. This isn't some vague notion or motivational gimmick tossed around in self-help circles. It's a deliberate step, a tangible move, synchronized with rhythms that predate modern calendars and financial systems. And this key? It isn't symbolic. It's real. And it can be placed intentionally on a date that's not random, but cosmically significant. Picture a moment when the stars, the seasons, and the unseen currents of energy converge, not by accident, but by design. A moment that's been recognized by those who've studied the universe's patterns, not just with telescopes, but with an understanding of how time itself carries weight. May 30th. That's the day. It's not plucked from thin air or chosen for convenience. It's a date woven into the fabric of natural cycles, a point where alignment amplifies intention. If they choose to understand why that day matters, and what placing a key on that day truly means, everything that's been blocking their wealth may finally be cleared. This isn't about blind faith or wishful thinking. It's about recognizing that obstacles to abundance, the stagnant accounts, the missed opportunities, the endless setbacks, might not be random misfortunes. They could be locks. Locks that have kept doors shut for years, maybe even generations. And on May 30th, with the right knowledge, those locks could turn, those doors could swing open, revealing paths that were always there but never visible. This isn't just a promise. It's a process backed by timeless principles that have guided monks, mystics, and masters for centuries. Think of the ascetics who retreated to mountaintops, not to escape life, but to decode it. Or the scholars of ancient temples who tracked celestial events, not for poetry, but for power, the power to harmonize human effort with forces larger than themselves. These weren't dreamers spinning tales. They were practitioners who saw results, who built legacies that whisper through history. But if someone wants to discover what this key truly is, how to use it, and why it holds such immense power, they need to stay with us until the end. The journey isn't a quick fix or a flashy shortcut. It's a revelation, step by step, peeling back layers of distraction and doubt to expose something solid, something actionable. Because what's coming next could reset everything. This isn't hyperbole. It's a chance to rethink how wealth works, not as a reward for endless grinding or a gift for the lucky few, but as a flow that can be tapped into when you know where to stand and what to hold. Imagine a slate wiped clean, not just of financial strain, but of the stories you've been told about why you can't have more. Now, let's begin to open what has long been closed. Let's step past the noise of daily survival, past the clutter of conventional advice, and into a space where the rules aren't what they seem, where the tools to reshape your reality have been waiting patiently for someone to claim them. The concept of wealth, true, sustaining, expansive wealth, isn't just about paper or numbers in a bank account. It's an energy, a frequency. And like any frequency, it can either be amplified or blocked. Think of it as a current moving through your life, one that can hum with clarity and strength or falter under static and interference. Most people don't realize they're caught in this subtle dance, where abundance isn't solely tied to effort or luck, but to an unseen rhythm they've yet to tune into. Most people live surrounded by invisible barriers, emotional scars, ancestral karma, subconscious beliefs, or even energetic clutter from past decisions. These aren't just fleeting thoughts or old regrets, they're imprints, carried in the mind and body, shaped by years of disappointment, inherited struggles, or choices made without awareness. These blocks don't just sit silently, they actively repel wealth. They create a kind of magnetic push, turning away opportunities, dimming intuition, and keeping resources just out of reach. They form what ancient practitioners called karmic stones, energetic weights that anchor someone to a state of lack, even when they work tirelessly to rise. Picture a ship weighed down by unseen anchors, unable to sail freely no matter how strong the winds of ambition blow. The Buddhist Zen perspective, especially from the 11th century tantric schools, points to an elegant solution. The external world reflects the internal state. This isn't a poetic metaphor, but a practical observation honed over centuries by meditators and sages who saw patterns in human suffering. They taught that chaos outside, unpaid bills, stalled projects, empty savings, often mirrors chaos within, unresolved fears, buried shame, or a quiet belief that plenty is for others, not you. So when wealth is missing, it's not about chasing more, it's about removing what's silently resisting. The pursuit of money alone is like mopping the floor during a rainstorm without closing the windows. The real work lies in finding and sealing the leaks. This shift in focus changes everything, moving away from endless striving toward a deeper clearing, a recalibration of the self to align with what's already abundant in the world. And this is where May 30th enters with profound importance. According to ancient lunar cycle astrology, passed from Tibetan and Japanese monastic calendars, May 30th marks a rare vibrational window, what monks referred to as a clearing corridor. It's a time when stagnant energy can be released far more effectively, especially around finances, resources, and material flow. This isn't a modern invention or a convenient marketing hook. It's a date rooted in meticulous observation of lunar phases, planetary alignments, and their influence on earthly affairs. In these traditions, the moon doesn't just light the night, it pulls on the tides of human experience, amplifying moments when intention and action can cut through inertia. On May 30th, the celestial configuration creates a kind of cosmic reset, a fleeting opportunity to shed the energetic debris that's been piling up, unnoticed, for years. Imagine it as a narrow path through a dense forest, one that only appears under the right light, a chance to step free of old patterns and let the frequency of wealth find its way to you, unhindered by the past. During this short period, spiritual actions done with intention, especially involving symbolic placement, can drastically alter someone's energy field. This isn't about vague hopes or casual gestures. It's about channeling focus into a precise moment when the veil between the seen and unseen thins. The air feels charged, as if the universe pauses to listen, amplifying the impact of every deliberate step. And that's where the key comes in. It might sound unusual, but symbols, especially physical ones, carry weight. They're not mere trinkets or decorations. They act as anchors, bridging the intangible and the material. In ancient Buddhist temples, small metallic keys were used during ceremonies to represent the unlocking of invisible gates. These weren't random objects but carefully crafted tools, often inscribed with sacred syllables, held in hands that understood their purpose. The ritual was clear: place the key, speak the truth, release the block. Monks would perform this under flickering lamplight, their voices steady, knowing that each act rippled beyond the physical space into the currents of karma and possibility. So here's what we're leading to. On May 30th, placing a key in a specific location, such as under a pillow, above a door frame, or inside a meditation altar, becomes more than ritual. It becomes a spiritual reset. The location matters because it ties the act to your daily life. Under a pillow connects to dreams and rest. Above a door frame guards transitions and entries. A meditation altar centers your deepest intentions. This isn't about superstition. It's about creating a focal point where energy shifts from stagnation to flow. The placement must be done with a mantra. Not just any mantra, but a very specific chant known for dissolving financial karmas, Om Vasidhar Svaha. This isn't a random string of sounds, it's a sonic key, passed down through generations, vibrating with purpose. This is the mantra of Vasudhara, the bodhisattva of wealth and prosperity. In her iconography, she's depicted with golden skin and overflowing bowls, a figure of abundance who doesn't hoard but shares, embodying the truth that wealth grows when it moves. When chanted 108 times during the wealth window on May 30th, and followed by the symbolic act of placing a key, The process activates the energy of opening. The number 108 isn't arbitrary. It echoes the sacred geometry of the cosmos, from the beads on a mala to the distance between the Earth and the Sun in ancient measurements. Each repetition builds momentum, like water wearing away stone, clearing the subtle debris that's held you back. That's what "put the key here" means. It's not metaphor. It's magnetism. The key becomes a conduit, drawing in the frequency of prosperity while pushing out the residue of lack, a physical act that mirrors an inner unlocking, aligning your personal energy with the larger pulse of the universe on that potent day. Now, let's go deeper. There are 3 practices to prepare for this activation, and all of them are essential. Each must be approached with intention, presence, and absolute clarity. Skipping one can diminish the effect. These aren't busy work or optional steps. They're the groundwork that ensures the key doesn't just sit there but turns the lock. Think of them as tuning an instrument before a performance. Without them, the sound is off, the resonance weak. The first practice clears the mind, the second aligns the body, and the third opens the spirit, together creating a harmony that amplifies May 30's potential. This isn't about perfection but preparation, about stepping into the moment fully awake, ready to receive what's been waiting to arrive. First, the cleansing ritual. 3 days before May 30th, starting on the 27th, practitioners must begin a process of energetic clearing. This isn't a casual suggestion or a light warm-up. It's a deliberate unraveling of the heaviness that's settled into your life, layer by layer. The process starts with saltwater baths, where a handful of coarse salt, unrefined, raw, straight from the earth, is stirred into warm water. The salt doesn't just cleanse the skin, it's an ancient purifier, revered across cultures for its ability to absorb and neutralize stagnant energy, drawing out what's been trapped in your aura from months or even years of stress. Alongside this, fasting or reducing sugar sharpens the mind and lightens the body. It's not about deprivation but about stripping away the fog that comes from excess, the sluggishness that clouds intuition and keeps you tethered to old habits. Then comes the act of removing clutter from your most used room, the space where you think, rest, or create. This isn't about minimalism. It's about removing the dense energy layers that cling to surfaces and minds alike. Every dusty corner, every unused item, holds whispers of past decisions, regrets, or procrastination, quietly weighing you down. Picture it like this: each discarded object, a forgotten stack of papers, a broken trinket, a shirt you never wear, isn't just physical junk. It's a fragment of stuck energy, a subtle anchor pulling at your potential. Each object removed clears a channel. The room begins to breathe again, and so do you, as if the air itself lightens with every step. Each moment of silence reawakens alignment, pulling you out of the noise of daily survival and into a quieter space where intention can take root. This 3-day window isn't arbitrary. It mirrors the natural rhythm of preparation found in lunar traditions, where the days leading up to a significant alignment are just as vital as the moment itself. By the time May 30th arrives, you're not dragging the past with you. You're standing clear, unburdened, ready to meet the wealth window with a mind and spirit that can actually receive it. This cleansing isn't punishment or toil. It's a gift to yourself, a way to shed what's been muting the frequency of abundance all along. Second, the invocation prayer. On the night of May 29th, a specific prayer must be spoken aloud. Not mumbled, not whispered, voiced with strength. This isn't a quiet plea or a half-hearted wish. It's a declaration, a sound that cuts through the stillness of the night and reverberates into the unseen. The act of speaking it boldly matters. Your voice becomes a tool, a vibration that stirs the air and signals your readiness to shift what's been stuck. Here is the English version used in many Vajrayana monasteries, translated and preserved. With this night, I release what no longer serves. With this voice, I call in what aligns with truth. May the doors of stagnation be unlocked. May the wealth of all worlds arrive in peace. So it is. So it begins. These aren't just words, they're a formula, distilled over centuries by practitioners who understood the power of intention married to sound. Each phrase carries weight, releasing the old, summoning the real, opening what's closed, and welcoming abundance with calm certainty. This prayer sets the field. It's like laying the groundwork before planting a seed, clearing the soil of weeds and rocks so something new can take hold. Spoken on the eve of May 30th, it aligns with the lunar energy building toward the clearing corridor, amplifying its reach. It prepares the subconscious, that deep well where doubts and dreams wrestle, nudging it toward openness rather than resistance. The mind, often a tangle of skepticism or fatigue by nightfall, begins to soften, to trust, as the words sink in and echo through your being. It invites the sacred, calling not just to your own spirit but to forces larger than yourself, the currents of possibility that flow through every living thing. In Vajrayana practice, such prayers were often chanted under starlight or beside flickering butter lamps, the speaker fully present, knowing that this moment wasn't rehearsal but ignition. This isn't about begging for favor, it's about stepping into partnership with the universe, claiming your place in its rhythm as the clock ticks closer to the pivotal day. Third, the key placement plus mantra on May 30th. At sunrise or no later than 11 a.m., the chosen key, any small metallic key will do, preferably silver or gold-colored, must be held between both hands while seated. The timing isn't random. Sunrise carries the first light of renewal, a moment when the world feels fresh and unburdened, while the cutoff at 11 a.m. aligns with the peak of morning energy before the day's distractions take hold. The key itself doesn't need to be elaborate. A spare from an old lock or a decorative piece works, but silver or gold hues echo the radiance of prosperity, their sheen a quiet nod to abundance. Holding it between both hands grounds you, connecting your intention through touch, warming the metal with your own heat as if waking it to purpose. The mantra Om Vasudhara Svaha is chanted 108 times. Each repetition softens resistance. Each vibration uncoils lack. The sound rolls off the tongue like a wave, steady and unbroken, its cadence loosening the grip of scarcity that's clung to your spirit. In the stillness, you might feel it, a subtle shift, a lightness, as if the air itself begins to hum along. When the chanting is complete, the key is to be placed. If under the pillow, it attracts wealth to the dream state, planting seeds in the subconscious. Night after night, as you sleep, it works quietly, weaving visions of possibility into the unguarded mind where fears often fade. If above a doorframe, it invites wealth into the home physically. Positioned there, it stands as a sentinel, greeting every entry with the promise of flow, transforming a threshold into a gateway for resources. If in a sacred space or altar, it signals readiness to the unseen forces. Surrounded by candles, stones, or whatever holds meaning for you, it becomes a beacon, a physical pledge to the energies that move beyond sight. The placement isn't just a step, it's the culmination, the moment when preparation meets action, locking the ritual into reality. What follows is known as the Wealth Watch. For 3 days after May 30th, individuals must observe, note, and allow unusual invitations, ideas, dreams, hunches, encounters. This isn't passive waiting, it's active receptivity, a heightened awareness of the world's response to your shift. A sudden call from an old friend might carry an opportunity. A vivid dream could spark a solution. A stray thought during a mundane task might nudge you toward a new path. This is the energetic response to the shift. These are the signs that the door is opening. In traditions tied to such practices, these days were treated as sacred listening periods, times to tune in rather than force outcomes. The key has turned. Now the universe begins to speak, not in loud pronouncements, but in whispers and coincidences that demand your attention. Keep a notebook, stay curious, let the ripples unfold. In a simple closing, this content reveals a powerful ancient practice rooted in spiritual lineages, where placing a key on May 30th, paired with intention and timeless rituals, can clear the unseen barriers blocking wealth. It's a precise, practical opportunity, not a fantasy, to shift energy, align with abundance, and answer the persistent questions of struggle with a return to forgotten wisdom. What did they feel while listening to this? Did something resonate deep within, as if an ancient truth had just been remembered? Because now, it's their turn. Their time to act. To stop waiting and begin doing. Everything shared here was never meant to just be heard, it was meant to be lived. When they place that key with full awareness, they're not just following a ritual. They're stepping onto the path that leads directly to the life they've always known was possible. We thank every soul who joined us for this sacred transmission. If this message stirred something inside, let that be honored. Let it be the spark. Please support this journey by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving the mantra Om Vasadhar Svaha in the comments below, a vibrational seal to invite prosperity into every corner of their lives. We're deeply grateful, and we'll be right here, guiding the way.